Welcome back to the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast. We are back in the studio.
The studio.
Where
Is that what we call this now? The studio?
Yeah, why not? My office. Studio.
Office studio? Sure, we'll go with
Office studio. Yeah.
Feels like a studio. Ish.
Yeah, we need to get like new furniture and stuff and actually like do something with that.
Maybe. We need an on-air sign, like a neon sign that says on air.
Well, didn't you say we have like a monitor coming? Didn't you tell me that?
I did order a monitor.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to have like a teleprompter? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I could see about teleprompting things.
Why not?
I'll program it just to make you laugh, and you can't keep a straight face.
Speaking of laughing,
Yeah.
July 1st was International Joke Day, and we missed it because I just missed it. I was thinking of like cool segments to do, and I know you and I were kind of messing around with jokes that day.
Yeah.
And then I just happened to Google like dates, in July, just trying to think of like content, stuff like that. And it came up with International Joke Day on July 1st, and it was like July 6th when I did it. I was
You know
like,
what I think?
fuck.
You know what I think about that though. The first thing that comes to mind, it's like that's a fucking hallmark. Like not hallmark. Like there's no like International Joke Day cards. But like, do you think anyone besides the United States and maybe
Probably
Canada
not. Yeah, probably not
recognizes?
I'm sure Canada probably doesn't.
So why the fuck why would we call it international? Whatever.
I mean, listen. There's a day for everybody these days. So are you surprised that?
No.
And I wonder how long this International Joke Day has been a thing.
That's true. They probably came up with it last week, and next year it'll be a month long.
like everything else, right?
Yeah, no doubt. It needs a month.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everything seems to need a month, doesn't it?
It needs a month.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back, dude, from vacation.
Yeah, man.
How was it?
It was good.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We hit a lot of different spots, which was cool.
Yeah, you did.
It was neat. It was long.
Yeah, like meaning you felt like you were just out of town for a long time, or like you were itching to get back.
We actually came home a day early.
Yeah, I was going to say that you were coming back on Sunday.
We came home 2 days early.
You were coming back on Monday?
What? No, we came back 1 day early.
So you came back on Saturday.
Yeah, supposed to come back Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. It was long. Not gonna lie.
Because everyone was just like ready to go home.
It was. All right. So you want to hear like one of the major problems we had?
Yes.
So normally, we stay in hotels that have laundry facilities.
You ran out of clothes?
Bro. Yeah. Like, listen, every place we stayed at had a laundry service where they would send it out. Yeah. But Nancy's like, I'm not having somebody else touch my like underwear.
Shit.
Well, normally Luca, my older one, likes to do laundry, so he just normally takes. We have a laundry bag. Everybody has their own laundry bag when we travel. So you put your stuff in it, and then like wherever we are, like he'll do laundry.
Right.
So of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places we stayed, not one place had. They all sent it out.
But you couldn't go to a laundromat?
I mean, we could have.
I did.
We could have.
I washed Otto's clothes after hockey camp before mountain biking camp.
We could have. Oh, did you? That was smart.
And
we could have.
I'll tell you,
it was. We 100% could have.
Yeah. No, listen, I understand what you're saying.
Definitely.
But coupled with the fact that it was a long vacation, it was probably like just like the straw that broke the camel's back, maybe. You're just like, yeah, fuck it, let's go home. Do laundry at home.
I got to tell you, it was like laundry. We didn't stop just because of the laundry.
No,
that was just one thing, right? But we were gone for like, it was like 13 days, 12 days. It was long.
It's a long time for a family to be together and like traveling too. It's not like you were at like a resort where like you had home base and you were at resorts.
We were at resorts.
No, but my point is, you were still getting in the car. You were going on a road trip,
which I tell you didn't bother us. And we don't mind being together and hanging out.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Okay.
We didn't get like sick of each other.
Yeah.
Like we've done this. We do it a lot.
Yeah.
So it's that wasn't an issue. But so I spent a lot of money. Every time we travel.
Now we're getting somewhere.
So and not listen. I do it often, right? So I like traveling. I like showing my kids the United States. So we went to Baltimore, D.C., West Virginia, Maryland, a bunch of
Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, which was awesome because we did northeast last year.
Okay.
And we were doing the same thing. We were at like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maine,
Right.
So we did like, the New Hampshire last year. So, but I have to tell you, I don't know if everything has gotten so much more expensive, but like every place I went, I was just irritated
at the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just irritated.
Yeah.
Like so the place in West Virginia, which is a wonderful place. It's a phenomenal place,
Yeah.
right? But like every where you go
Yeah.
on their property, and it's a massive property. It's again, it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but you have 37% tacked on to every single thing you do, from
37%.
from your room to drinks to food to Dominic and I went trap shooting, and skeet shooting, to we did a Jeep tour. Like whatever you do, there's
plus 37%.
plus 37.
That's
because
fucked up.
no matter
is
what,
it not including and they expect
No.
gratuity on top of that.
20% is tip.
Okay.
So even if you hate the person who helped you,
They're guaranteeing
you're
them tips.
they're hitting you correct.
Right.
Okay. And I'm fine with that, because I normally tip that anyway.
Sure.
Right? Or more if I'm really happy with it.
Right.
I have a thing about tipping. I like tipping. But there's 7% West Virginia, which is fine.
Okay.
But there's also a 10% like
Make America Great Again tax.
Make America Great Again. It's a very old building.
Yeah.
Right? Like 1800s old. Like,
Right.
the property was there like pre-1800s. So that there's a lot of upkeep.
Right.
Right? So, and again, I don't necessarily mind that either. So forget the 20%. There's 17% on top of everything else you do.
Yep.
Plus the gratuity. Right? But what pissed me off was that there were there's 15 restaurants on the property.
Okay.
In all different spots, right? There's one down by the golf, one by the tennis, a bunch here. They're all over the place.
Right.
And it's fancy. So like jackets, men have to wear jackets. Okay. In most places, there's a couple places you have to wear collared shirts, but mostly jackets. Right.
And you knew that going into this.
We did. Yeah. Nancy bought dresses. The kids who had shorts and pants and shoes and collared shirts.
That didn't get you didn't get tired of that.
No, I like that. To be honest with you, it keeps the riff.
You like a good
out.
collar.
It keeps the riff.
You like a good collar.
I obviously, as you can tell, right? But it keeps the riffraff out, so I don't mind it, right? But so one day we were just kind of tired that day.
Yeah.
So they have this Italian restaurant on the property. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, let's just go down and order pizza.
Okay.
Right. So I did Dom and I split a margarita pizza. Nancy got vegan meatballs and pasta. Luca got
She's a
pasta.
vegetarian?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No way.
My wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No way.
Doesn't eat dairy because she's allergic. And, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a big pain in the ass to take out to eat.
No shit.
Huge pain in the ass.
No,
Love her to death. Huge pain in the ass to go out to eat with.
Interesting.
Huge pain in the ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salads all around.
She's difficult. Super difficult to feed.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, love her to death. Love you, babe. Pain in the ass, so. She knows it. But yeah, so I go down and they automatically whack 20% onto I went down to get it. I called and ordered it. I went down to get it.
Yeah.
They didn't even bring it to the room.
Right. And they're still
whacking you.
Right.
Like that irritates me.
Yeah.
Like that pisses me off.
Yeah. It's just they're helping themselves to your wallet.
Right. And I have to tell you, when I go pick food up and somebody puts the tablet in front of me.
Yes.
And they're and it says there's the tip when you go pick a food.
Yeah.
And they're holding the tablet and they're here, just tip and then sign. You have to pick 10, 15, 20, 22, 25.
Yeah.
I don't tip when I pick up.
Right.
I have,
because you're not getting any service.
What the fuck are they doing?
Right.
They're making the food for you regardless whether you're eating there or whether you're picking it up, right?
Yes.
And there's already a percentage tacked onto the food.
Right.
So you're not doing anything for me.
Right.
Why am I tipping you?
Right.
And that started during COVID.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know how other people feel about it, but that pisses me off. When they spin that thing at you
Yeah.
and they're here, if you have a jar there,
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
I'll stick a couple bucks in, but like don't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that irritates me.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's just bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You know,
listen, I don't
if you're
disagree.
now, again, I like tipping. Don't get me wrong. No, people, don't get me wrong. I like tipping, and I have no problem doing it, especially if you're good. I'm super generous tipping, but like if you're not doing anything for me, you lose me.
Right.
You know?
Okay. That's, I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, but everywhere you go, like stuff is so expensive.
So expensive. Yeah.
Dude. You can't get away for under $100 for a family of 4, even for breakfast.
Oh, I would have. Yeah.
The buffet was like $55 a head.
Fuck.
I mean,
And that's just
you're
breakfast.
like $225 for breakfast.
Like how much they charge you to take your first breath when you wake up.
Again, and they got, listen, but everything is. So it's funny. All the reviews about that place is like everybody loves it. The place is phenomenal. So much to do. They're like, it's expensive, and they get you
Everywhere.
and they do.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not reasonable.
Yeah. No,
It's not.
I don't. That's one thing is when, I get it for when they have large parties in restaurants where like gratuities included.
I
and,
get
like,
that,
stuff
but a
like
family of 4?
No, I know.
Or like when I'm picking up.
But like if you're
pizza,
going to a place that's expensive, and I know that there's like, there's, I don't know if logistics is the right word, but like I'd so much rather just like make it more expensive
and
don't make me feel like I'm being nickel and dime.
Nah, you're 100% right.
Like
just add it into
add it in, and
add it in.
that's why like part of like my resentment with airlines now is
Yeah.
that like you have to pay to choose your seat
And the
you
bags.
have to pay for the like
how many bags.
and
And if you want to upgrade it, you want more leg room, God, an extra like $40.
no doubt, like
Yeah.
but if it's okay if you need to charge more,
Yeah.
like I get it,
Yeah.
but don't like and then the advertising of the pricing is really such bullshit because they show you pricing which is like bare bones, like no one's ever like flying at that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever the rate they show you, because
Yeah.
then you have to do all the add-ons and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And the same thing with like tickets. At least I respect the fact that if you're buying tickets like on Ticketmaster or maybe with StubHub or whatever the fuck it was, you can at least toggle a button where it says show me price including tax.
all the horse
so,
shit.
so at least you know like this is really
at least
where
you
I'm
know
at.
and I got to tell you, like hotel rooms are the same way. You go to a hotel room, and you think you're paying like $750 a night, and then you actually get like the bill, and it's more like just under $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, because they tack on shit left and right.
Right.
Like, just give me the fucking bottom line.
Bottom line up front.
Because I got to tell you, everywhere we went, it's like not they get shafted everywhere, but my God, these days it seems like you get hammered for everything. And it starts to piss you off. And I have no problem paying for stuff, but like the room we stayed in Annapolis, Maryland, was a Marriott on the water, and I was like, this is so not up to like standards.
What wasn't up to standards? The property or what you were getting in return for the price they were charging?
So you're on the water on the harbor in Annapolis, which is like, and you're downtown, so it's a nice location.
Yeah.
So we stayed there like, I'll call it like 10 years ago, maybe longer. Maybe Luca was 2, so it was probably like 14 years ago. Actually, now that I think about it, so it's longer. But talk about like place has gone, and it's a Marriott. It's like one of their signature collections.
Oh yeah.
So it's supposed to be like
JW Marriott.
So the JW is it's like JW Ritz,
Conrad.
Yeah, like they're like up there. This is like
Conrad's Marriott, right? Or is that Hilton?
I don't know. Is Conrad? I don't think Conrad's Marriott.
No.
It's like JW. It's like Ritz Carlton. It's like but this is their autograph collection.
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
So it's obviously like a boutique hotel that they kind of bought.
Right.
Right. But so you expect a certain level of we stayed at the JW in downtown DC.
Yeah.
So you expect a certain level of
like service
and the room,
atmosphere,
the cleanliness,
right?
And it was clean. Don't get me wrong, but so we had 2 rooms or 2 like kids had their own room. No, not it was like a suite-ish type thing.
Yeah.
Where Nancy and I had our own room and the kids had their room. The air conditioning didn't work in the kids' room.
No shit.
I was like, what the fuck? It was like 97 degrees.
And they didn't have maintenance up there right away?
They said they looked at it, but I was like, what the fuck?
Well, looking at it's different than fixing it.
So I left. That's where I left 2 days early. I'm like,
No
Nancy,
shit.
let's go home.
Yeah.
I'm like, so downstairs you saw there was like water issues. You saw there was water issues like in our room. Like, so if you're charging me the price you're charging me, like fine. But you know what? Like I expect everything to work and be not an issue.
Right.
So that pissed me off.
Yeah, that makes sense, man.
So I started getting irritated toward the end. I'm like, Nancy, let's just go home.
Yeah. All right, so you came back.
Yes, we came back. Yeah.
Came back. Welcome back.
Yes. No. Happy to be back.
Welcome back.
I'm happy to be back.
Good.
And I must say, you and I are not on a delay right now, which is beautiful.
No, that was.
It was different.
You had to get it adjusted.
It was different.
You had a deal.
It was fine. I think it was fine.
No,
it was just different.
It was different.
Yeah.
But now we're back.
Now we're back. You're out of the bunker. I'm not on the road, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we were. I was also out of town just for the last weekend.
That's
Otto
right. You were in New Hampshire,
camp.
right? Yeah.
Then we moved him over to mountain biking camp.
It went well. He liked it.
Yeah, he had a great time.
Good,
we went up there on a Friday on July 4th. They had like an end of like camp game. Which they pretty much dominated. Their team was stacked.
Oh yeah.
I felt bad. Like he did. Like
how did he play?
Yeah, he played well. The one thing that stood out was working really hard on his back check.
Nice. That's huge.
Which is that felt more
That's
consistent.
Huge. That's really huge.
Passing the biscuit.
Oh,
nicely.
so all good things.
All good things. Still looking for a little bit more of like a dominant play, meaning like wanting the puck more and like, trying to be, just hang on to like possession more and try to be more creative as opposed to, but that's fine. Yeah, he was playing. There was a kid on his team that was like a 2013 birth year, played brick, plays for like the Reapers.
Nice.
The kid was a stud.
Oh, in Chicago?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was good. Then we dropped off at mountain biking camp.
And look! These people walking by. They see that we're doing. They see the lights from the.
Yeah, should we call them in?
They just looked in. They kept staring. They obviously know they were because I guess you could see the bright lights from outside.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
You know them?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But that's funny that they were looking in from the street. That's funny.
Of course. Yeah, well, listen, put an on-air sign. We'll get like an outdoor audience.
We could do a live show.
With
a live audience. You know what I mean?
Anyhow,
that's actually pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, nice man. So you happy to be back from New Hampshire? And Otto is not back yet. Otto's still.
No, he's still up there.
He's still camping, huh?
He's not
really
camping. He's like he's at like a boarding school.
Yeah,
and
good for him.
For his dorming, and then
awesome.
they bus him over to like the mountain for mountain biking for the day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's like, last year we sent them to like this like kind of it's called Camp Woodward,
right.
and it's a pretty well known like for skateboarders and like BMX people.
Yeah.
And so he was
like
telling
X
me,
Games athletes,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
He was saying last year when he was there, like it was like the first day he was there, like a kid went home with like a broken arm, like.
Didn't you mention on one of our episodes like you don't want him to break his collarbone?
Well, so then he called Orly last night, and he's like, yeah. So the first day, kid went home, he had a broken collarbone.
Oops.
Another kid like fractured his wrist, and like, listen, he's not at the level. I don't think. I mean, well, I know what his level is, and it's still on the beginner side.
Yeah.
But he's not doing like some of these kids are doing like major aerials, like flip. Oh yeah, man.
Oh no shit.
Like they have like heavy duty mountain bikers, like celebrity level.
Oh, that's
They're like
impressive.
doing like backflips and like crazy shit.
Right. That's impressitive, dude. That's very impressive.
Really. But like, so he's not
like
he's
not doing
if
that
he were to
stuff.
break something, it would be because he like I don't know. Just something went wrong, not because he failed on a stunt.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Listen, keep sending him. He'll be doing those aerials in no time.
I don't know if I'm down with that.
Yeah, I get that.
And to be honest with you, I don't know that he's down with it. Like I don't know his appetite. He's not like a daredevil. Like he does like like the adrenaline and like speed. Like he plays
likes
ice
that
hockey.
Stuff. Yeah, sure.
Like, but I don't. He's not like he's like a thrill seeker, but he's not. I don't know what the right word is. He's not a daredevil.
Like an adrenaline junkie.
Like he is, but like he's not like he doesn't throw caution to the wind like immediately. You know what I mean? Like he works his way up. Like has to build his confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. That's cool though.
So
man.
He's there, and I'm back here, and now we're podcasting, and let's talk some
episode
hockey,
18. It's exciting.
Yeah, 2 new states, right? 3 new states. Rhode Island, Tennessee, and South Carolina. That's what's up.
Gamecocks, the Volunteers, and I have no idea what Rhode Island is. I was going to say the Blue Hens, but that's Delaware. That's not Rhode Island.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Good job.
I have a cousin that lives up there.
Bird?
I'll have to ask.
I think there might be birds.
Well, I'm doing college mascots. So I did Tennessee Volunteers. I did South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't have one for Rhode Island. I don't know, like University of Rhode Island, what are they?
All right, the URI, it's Rhodey the Ram.
The Rams?
The Rams.
Gotcha. Okay, so welcome all you Rams, all you Volunteers, and all you Gamecocks.
That's it. I know a guy that I play like pick up like men's with.
Hockey?
His kid
Goes to University of South Carolina.
Play hockey. Plays
Nice,
hockey down
beautiful
there.
school.
Yeah, I've never been.
So is Tennessee, by the way.
Yeah.
UT?
Yeah.
Well, I guess UT could be University of Texas too, but you know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
but
about.
also spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Peyton Manning.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Chris Sims.
Texas.
Oh, he was a Longhorn.
Sorry.
He was a Longhorn.
Did he?
No,
he committed.
He committed,
and then he pulled out, and then he went to University of Texas.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, but you're right. But he was committed there.
He was committed
for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then he changed. Listen.
But he still went on to play in the NFL.
Listen, I think he got. Did he like bust his spleen or something? Something funky happened to Chris.
He did like have an injury like that.
Yeah. Listen, University of Texas has had monster quarterbacks. I mean, look at is it Ash Manning? What's his?
Yeah.
Ash?
Archie?
No, Archie's the grandfather.
Who's the dad? I don't know.
Archie's the dad.
Archie's the
then
dad.
Then you have Peyton, Eli. Right. There's another brother who was apparently pretty good. But is that right? Google that for me. Is it Ash? Ash Manning? Why don't I think it's what it is. I think he's supposed to start this year.
Ash Manning is Archibald Charles Manning, born April 27, 2004, American football quarterback for the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah. I love college football, so I'm excited I'm actually very excited for the season to start. Yeah.
Well,
my Rutgers Scarlet Knights are going to be questionable. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. See how it goes. But yeah, so welcome to those three states. We're at 38 states total. I mean, we are. I'm shocked that we're this far along this quickly. Dude, I did not expect this.
I know. Listen, let's enjoy it. Celebrate it.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
I'm curious how long it's going to take us to actually get all 50.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, here's a question. What do you think the last state is going to be?
So it's so funny that you say that.
The last one.
So I would have said Hawaii, but we got Hawaii a while ago. So and we're in like funky places like we have like Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa and Utah and Nevada. Like you have.
So what's the last one?
I'm gonna say that's a good question. What's gonna be the last one? I would say like New Mexico, but we have New Mexico. So I want to say Alaska, but I don't think that's going to be true.
I don't think that's going to be true.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be true. But I want to say that, but I don't think it's going to be right. What's the last one?
Arkansas? Mississippi?
Oh, man. So you think it's going to be a southern state?
Kind of. Where
hockey is like not so much.
Not as popular.
I would have said that too, but we have Alabama and Tennessee. I mean, like, I would have said that too, but like we're in those areas.
Montana,
already. All right, I got it. Ready?
Yeah.
I think Louisiana.
Yeah.
Although Arkansas is a nice call by you.
Arkansas.
But I want to say
Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere over there.
Do we have Mississippi yet?
I don't think so.
That's why.
Do we? I could be wrong. Anyway, probably not.
Yeah. But so we picked up those three states, and we also picked up Finland.
How
cool is that?
Super cool.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, big hockey over there.
Uusimaa, Finland? Uusimaa?
Yeah, I looked it up. It's the southern part of Finland. Uusimaa, right. That's like more of like...
It's a region.
It's not as specific, although there might be a specific city.
But I'm pretty
town.
sure the cities that encompasses are like the Helsinki, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like across whatever the water is there from like Estonia and Latvia.
Right.
You know what I realized from looking at the map, but this was a while ago. St. Petersburg, Russia is like very close to Finland. Like it's a short like.
I saw that ride. Actually on them. It's funny really you said that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. When do you think we're going to get Russia? I bet you we're going to get Russia soon.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think
as long as they allow like American internet over there.
As long as Putin doesn't shut it off.
I don't
like
know.
they're doing like Iran.
And like China.
I was going to say, when do you think we're going to get like a Middle Eastern country? But you have Turkey already.
We have Turkey.
And I mean, it's like, or like all right, What do you think is going to be your first like South American country?
The first South American country?
Yeah. I think it's going to be one of the bigger ones.
I think
like Brazil or like Argentina or Chile or something like that. What do you think?
I mean, that would make sense.
Right?
I don't know. I'll go out on a limb and say
it's got to be a big one, I think. That's my guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Colombia.
All right, that works. That definitely works. We have not picked up any more. We have not. So I was doing some kind of like homework. So there's 10 Canadian provinces and then 3 territories.
Okay.
So we need to get the 10. We're at 8 of 10, and then I want to see if we can get the 3 territories that are after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it'll come.
It'll definitely come. And,
No doubt.
And then after we do that, I want to get all the hockey playing nations.
Okay.
Right? So
anywhere where the game of hockey is played?
No, like the major ones, like Canada, US, Finland. So obviously we have those 3. Germany we don't have. Netherlands we have. Norway we have. South Korea, Slovakia, Russia, Switzerland, Denmark, Great Britain we have, right? Italy, Latvia, Slovenia, Sweden, Belarus, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Poland, Spain, and Azerbaijan.
Okay.
So after that's what I want to hit. I want to get all those.
All right, we'll do it. But let's talk hockey.
Let's talk hockey.
So,
So, Guy, you talk about today's topic.
yeah, no doubt. So,
Which is actually a good topic.
It is a good
That was
topic.
a good call by you.
Yeah. No, well, so I mean, I was, and then it's
Good call by
we
you.
were talking about it, and then I'm like on my way over here, I stopped to get something to eat, and like on the phone, like pops up a New York Times article about private equity, and in youth sports, generally speaking. And like, wow, like the money that gets poured, and like ultimately, like the topic is money in youth sports, and the trickle down effect that it has. And there's like a few things happened this week that like just that like had this topic percolate, and like not least of all Gavin McKenna signing for
Penn State. We are
like $700,000 or $750,000.
Oh, was that the NIL money he got?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I heard someone say 750. I read 700, but
Dominic's pretty excited about that PSU commit.
Yeah, I'm sure, but like just think about now that there's hockey parents who are already bananas. Like now that their kid not only could potentially get a scholarship, but get paid 6 figures to play collegiate hockey. I mean, it just puts downward pressure on the game in youth sports, and part of the fact that like families are investing so much in terms of like this early specialization of sports. Then you have like private equity like trying to make a buck, and like we have in our area, you have Black Bear Sports Group that has gone
buying
on
every rink.
They're buying rinks.
Every small
But
rink.
it's not just that they're buying rinks. They've also started leagues.
They started a TV.
They have
like
leagues that
live barn-ish type.
Yes,
right.
Well, it used to, I think it used to be Flow Hockey. Was it Flow Hockey?
It was.
No, or Hockey TV.
It was Hockey TV, and then it became
TV.
Black Bear TV.
And it might even they might have Flow also. But
I think you're right about that.
But what I think is it's just like this. Ultimately, you have big business that's extracting dollars from families
because they see dollar signs.
Because they see it, but they also kind of like make it. You know, and what do I mean by make it? Like you start, like you start Black Bear TV. Like you create leagues, you create tournaments, you create all-star game, you create more pay to stay to play,
big business.
And ultimately, and we're kind of jumping at and let's try to get a little like focused on this. But okay, so both of our kids are playing in
a Black Bear
team and a Black Bear league.
Yep.
And at first glance, when that came out, to be honest with you, you were in it before me, so I can't necessarily say.
Yeah,
before
we joined before we
after.
knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but ultimately, the effect of them, they've bought rinks and then they started a league, and this league is now effectively creating new teams.
Yeah,
and they're also matching the different tiers, and like in hockey, there's tier 1, there's tier 2.
Yes.
So
they also came up with their own ranking system.
And they've also there's a major fail because our team, among others, got selected to play in their national tournament. Now, for the U10 age group, there is no you can't do. USA Hockey does not have a road to nationals for the U10 age group. What age does it start nationals?
I want to say it's
like
bantam.
Bantam, like Dom is eligible.
Last year we capped out at districts. We won districts
right.
and it was over.
So for us last year, our team got invited to play
Right.
in their national tournament, which ultimately did not happen. They bailed.
That was the end of last year, right? They canceled it, right?
They canceled it.
Yeah, was it up in like New Hampshire or something? Like
Well,
you were telling me?
it was also like it was like I could be wrong, but
Yeah, we're talking tier 1. It was tier 1.
This is tier 1.
Yeah,
but the tournament might have been like after or just days before tryouts for the following season, and like the timing was bad. It was up in Massachusetts. So in any event,
and they canceled it, right?
They canceled it. I think teams pulled out. It was just
so teams
because it was
left.
like teams. Yeah, I don't know the full scoop.
So it fell apart.
It fell apart.
Oh, no shit.
100% it fell apart.
Oh, really? Why? Why do you think it fell apart?
I think part of it had to do with timing. I think
it was the end of the season. You said
it was end of the season,
like February end of the season, or like
no, it was in
or like March. Oh, so it was
March.
like really end of the season.
Yeah, it was like after playoffs.
Right.
But then in certain states, you're already like you have like a week or 2 weeks before tryouts for the next season.
You know, it's so funny you say that because when we were 10U, we were done like the last day in February. I remember we went to a tournament in Tampa, and it was done. Like you were done. So you had like 6 weeks or 5 weeks before tryouts.
No, we would have finished that tournament, and then we would have had tryouts that Tuesday or Monday.
That's crazy.
It would have been like right after.
It's extending the season.
It's extended the season after everyone's gone through all their stuff, and it's like it's meaningless. It's the teams are about to disband, in any event, and then tryouts are immediately afterwards. And I'm sure there's other reasons.
Right.
But what we're talking about here is that you have private equity that's bought rinks, that's created leagues. They now like at the younger age group. So first, one of the problems with that is that it starts diluting talent because you have a whole nother league with AAA teams that didn't exist before.
That's right.
And more AA teams, more of every level of team. So like you're
it just crushes every level.
It dilutes the talent pool.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, with some of these leagues, like you also have, and this was crazy when we first started full ice mites because USA Hockey doesn't do full ice mites.
No, they don't.
But the
AHF. Remember you were all playing under different names?
But
you were not, whatever your club was, you were something else for the full ice mites.
For the full ice mites because it's not USA
it's not recognized.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they started a league that included full ice mites. And not only was it full ice mites, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, but there was they kept stats. They kept stats.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Kids are looking at stats.
You're 8 years old. Like, stop
8 years
it.
old.
Like, come on. Like, who gives a shit?
Their apps are swankier. They're everything
is cleaner.
Everything is cleaner.
Yeah.
It's more like
it's
modern
more high
feel,
end. Yes.
But it also includes a lot of things that are not helpful in terms of like, they had player of the week every week, and you'd submit names, and they would be called out. They even had a fucking all-star game for full ice mites, dude. All-star, I swear to fucking God. And
this past year,
when we were full ice mites,
you guys were full ice mites.
I was full ice mites.
Wow, when Dominic was full ice mite, we did not have.
Dude, there was an all-star game, and we sent nobody. We didn't nominate anybody, and we said straight up, we're not participating.
Really?
Yeah, it was a fucking joke.
That's ridiculous.
And not only so, there's that. Ridiculous. They're putting together Pee Wee Quebec charters. Like
yes, they are. Yeah, okay. So Pee Wee Quebec is major dollars. It's huge business. Like for the city of Quebec, it's huge dollars, and you're there for like 15 days.
No, I know.
It's huge dollars, dude.
It's huge.
I want to say it's a money grab, but it's fucking huge dollars. Huge.
But it also isn't just tier 1. They've got AA Pee Wee Quebec also.
Like I said, it's huge dollars.
So
huge. I didn't take down to any Pee Wee Quebec tryouts.
No.
Zero.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I wasn't doing it.
So one of the issues that we talked about is the dilution of talent pool, right? Which is a problem, right? Because people want their kid to be AAA, and you'll find a mediocre AAA team in a new league, and they want you,
and they'll put teams together just to fill demand.
There's a lack of
and the demand is there.
They have parity events, but there's a lack of parity in the league. Yeah. There's a fucking cliff after you get off past the first 3.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
And it's not great. And then so that's part of it. The other part of it is tuition prices go up.
Yep.
It's already an expensive sport.
Our tuition went up.
Your tuition went up.
Yeah.
Our tuition went up.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not sure you're getting more for your money. I'm pretty sure you're not.
Well, from a development perspective, I don't think those additional dollars, so here's an example, and we talk about development, right?
Yeah.
So part of, and I don't know the economics entirely, but for our team this year, again, last year we were in the THF, which is the Black Bears Tier 1
Tier
league.
1 league, yes.
Now we're in the AHF,
which
Black
is their
Bears
Tier
2.
Yeah.
So in Tier 1 last year,
Yeah.
Like an interesting thing that we had was because the team the year prior had finished second in the league,
Right.
the top couple teams do not have to play a full league schedule. They're allowed to play a reduced schedule, which opens up your weekends to play more like non-league, potentially more competitive games, which is nice from a development standpoint, but it's only reserved for like the top couple teams.
Right.
We didn't have to participate in any like mandatory showcases.
Right.
But this year
you do.
This year, part of our tuition goes to
3 showcases.
3 showcases, but these showcases are league games.
Yes, they are.
They're not, maybe we're going to play a team we wouldn't see. Maybe the team's coming from Chicago and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a league game. And you're probably going to see teams you're going to see anyway.
Yes.
And
I think you're right about that.
There's not just one. There's
are 3. And Nancy, so funny you said that. Nancy found last night where our 3 showcases were.
Oh, because they got released recently.
Okay. So
where are yours?
Nancy
are
found
you in Chicago?
Night. No, we're like I said, we're in the fucking worst spots ever.
Where?
Like
Pennsauken?
Yes.
Yeah, so are we.
Fucking Pennsauken.
Yeah.
Like in August.
Yeah.
Like the August 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yep.
Like I said, like many podcasts ago, we were talking about how you're getting shafted. That now you don't get to go to a tournament. You get to the 3 showcases.
You have to go to these showcases.
Yeah. So the kids don't win anything. It's just league games.
Right.
That they're saying is a showcase. But now, if you want to go to a tournament, you have to pay extra for it.
Which is exactly what's happening to us.
Right. So So our showcase, just to finish the thought, are in Pennsauken.
Yeah.
Right. South Jersey.
Yeah.
Right. We are in. Why am I drawing a blank? We're in Pennsauken. We're in York, Pennsylvania. Middle of fucking nowhere.
Is it? Yeah.
Like middle of fucking nowhere.
Okay.
Like, and the other one, we are in. We're Pennsauken. Like Hamilton, New Jersey. Like, which is fucking Princeton.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, those are our showcases?
Those are your showcases.
Yeah. Like seriously?
Right, and they're league games.
And they're league games.
So it's not like anyone's like going to walk away with like a trophy.
Or like a thing. Kids aren't going to give a shit.
Dude. And so like...
I mean, they're not winning anything. You can't do anything. I'm so curious what our kids are going to be like at that first showcase. I wonder if they're going to be like, this sucks.
I was not even going to be at the first one.
You guys are down in South Carolina or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's
right. That's great.
So maybe he'll make like the Sunday
so
game.
You'll miss the
come
August
back on
one.
Saturday.
Yeah, I gotcha. But, so you guys are in Pennsauken with us?
Yeah, we're also in Pennsauken.
Oh, no
and
shit.
So like on the group chat, they're talking about like, oh, it's not state of play, so we can. So anyway, families
so you can
are already
stay
talking.
Wherever you want.
Yeah, but then also like family, we don't know the schedule, so maybe if we have an early game, we're going to want to be down there. So they're already like trying to figure out hotels and stuff like this.
Where are you guys staying?
I don't know. I mean, I'm staying in North Carolina.
Oh, right.
So I'm not going to be there.
Right.
But
right. That's right.
I don't know where they're
it's
talking.
Not state of play.
No.
Funny you said that because Nancy and I were actually looking at hotels.
Yeah.
That hotels we've stayed at before, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to stay with the team. We're going to stay in our own spots.
Yeah.
I think so.
So in any event, a downside to the fact that there's all this private equity money in here is that you have these leagues that are doing things to take dollars that families or teams or organizations would have spent like going to like a destination or something that
like Lake Placid,
for example, and now it's just being funneled into
Massachusetts.
being funneled right back into the same league.
That's exactly right.
Exactly what's happening.
Yeah. It's brutal, dude.
Yeah.
It really is. It's and you're not going to stop it. It's not. It's when big business gets involved, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. So now,
if anything, it's going to get more expensive.
So then, like, we also started talking about like the Black Bear TV, right?
Yeah.
So so most rinks, most places have live barn.
Yes.
Now, if you are playing in a Black Bear rink,
you don't have live barn. Live barn will not be in the building. They kicked live barn out of the building.
Live barn out.
As soon as they buy the rink, a live barn gets
check this
canceled.
out. So last year,
we experienced it last year. Live barn shut down.
Listen, I would run video, and so I set up. We had a Pixelot camera.
Right.
We put up goal cameras. So in certain buildings, they wouldn't
let you put your camera up.
Record.
They wouldn't let you put your Pixelot camera up.
We had to take it down.
That does not.
I was like,
me.
This is a fucking 10U game.
They said something to you.
Absolutely.
Was it local rinks around here?
Like Wayne, New Jersey.
I was just gonna say that. 100%. That place is notorious for that.
It was like as if there was someone just like in every rink waiting for someone to put up a camera. They couldn't have been there faster.
Can I tell you, during COVID, or if you even take your phone out and try to record in that building?
No.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Fucking crazy.
They want no part of that. They almost like make you buy the hockey TV.
But then,
now it's Black.
But dude, so I did that when we were playing up in
I thought you were talking about that rink.
Maybe we were up in no, it wasn't Buffalo. I forget where we were, but there was
I've
a
never
few
experienced
situations.
that anywhere else, by the way.
So I bought you. So
I wasn't, but I've seen other people filming where they asked them
to turn it off
or leave.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. It's my kid's fucking game. You're gonna tell me I can't record my kids' fucking game? Like,
you.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. So,
but then you think you are.
But then, because I was doing video review, I could still download games from like other sources, and then I could have them like get tagged and broken down.
Yeah.
You can't if you buy the game for like an individual game just to watch.
Yeah.
You can't download it. You have to have like a more premium package before they start allowing you to download.
I have heard that the basic package does not work.
It's not even if I just buy a one game,
it doesn't work.
I couldn't even download it.
That I know. I know.
It is fucking insane. So that's like now let's just say for families that for whatever reason are like watching remotely.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have your kids, and for us last year, like I mentioned, it was a little different because we were not playing an exclusive, and it's never gonna be 100%. But we had a minimal league schedule, so most of our games were actually out of league, and they ended up being in live barn buildings.
Yeah.
But people had needed two subscriptions.
I had it last year.
They needed 2 subscriptions.
I had it last year. Whenever we were in a black bear rink, which we weren't in a lot, but I had to do it a couple times.
Yeah.
I had live barn, and then I had to go get the My Hockey TV for that weekend or whatever it was, or Black Bear TV, whatever it's called now. Yeah, I know.
It's a fucking joke.
Yeah. So instead of like $35, you're now like $70 with 2.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's a ton of money.
It sucks.
It's a ton of money,
and it's filtering down to everything, Scott. I know we were talking about off air, how Bauer and CCM were bought by private equity.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know if you've looked recently, but literally earlier today, Dominic was on the ice this morning with a dude from Penn State.
Yeah.
And he needs new skates. And generally,
who needs new skates?
Dominic. Yeah. Every August, his feet, and he's been. You saw him before when he walked in. When he walked in here,
yeah, he definitely looked taller.
Did you see his shorts?
They were very short. I thought they were pulled up too high.
Bro, his shorts, like the kid has shot up, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but he's growing out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, so those were mediums. And she's like, Jamie, she's like, he needs a large in everything now.
Right.
Which is shocking because his parents are not big.
Right.
So all of a sudden he's growing like a weed, which is great. Right. Yeah. So I'm on Pure Hockey today. And he wants the new Bauer fly lights.
Okay.
Right. So I went on Bauer's website.
Is that what he had before?
So the
vapors, no?
The new fly lights are the old vapors.
So vapors are no more? They did away with vapors?
Yeah. When you go on the website, is vapor there? Supreme is there. Something else is there. I'm pretty sure fly light is there. I don't think it's under the vapor category. I'm pretty sure it's under fly light. I think. So he was in vapors when he was younger, but they were really narrow.
Yeah.
So he was in Supremes the last, call it 3 or 4 years. But now what they did with the fly lights is they made a fit 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, they've had that for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So they didn't. So Dom was also in a junior skate last year, which is probably not as robust as far as like width wise.
Yeah.
Like, so he's been in Supremes, which is easier. But now what's going on is the new fly lights come in 1, 2, or 3 fits, which is fit 1 is
like the most narrow.
If you're if the foot is 3 to 3.5 inches, you're in fit 1. 3.5 to 4.5 is fit 2.
Yeah.
And like 4.5 to 5.5 is fit 3. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Right. But I have to tell you, so now he's in a 3, junior 3.
Okay.
There's junior stop at 3.5. There's no way he's going to fit into a 3.5. Like I'm feeling he's in a 4, 4.5,
so
or
you're
5.
going up to the next.
So you're going from a junior to an intermediate. So now you're talking about $1,000 skates for a size 4.
It's fucking bananas. It's fucking bananas.
It's fucking insane.
But see, that's like so. And
dude, I'm going to be there tomorrow morning, so I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know on the next podcast.
So like you have like so.
So I thought $1,000 price points were for senior skates.
Right.
These are intermediates, $1,000.
There's youth, So what are the fucking sizes? So what's the difference? Junior versus intermediate? Isn't that the same thing?
So youth goes like 1 to like 13 and a half. Okay.
Yes.
Then
you go to
junior goes 1 through 3.5.
Oh.
And once you're done with 3.5, it goes to an intermediate, which I'm
scam.
pretty sure just got added recently.
Yeah, I don't remember that being a thing.
Of course, it's a fucking scam. I'm pretty sure this is new. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I don't remember there being an intermediate in between the junior and the senior.
And
the price point jumps.
But this is all ways to like extract more dollars from consumers.
Of course.
And then they have all these like higher price things. And then
again,
you see
private equity. It's not mom and pop owned anymore like it used to be, Bauer and CCM.
So the whole thing just puts this downward pressure. And I think ultimately we're to kind of like, we talked about NIL money with McKenna. We talked about private equity, raising prices on tuition and like not fabricating is not the word, but like coming up with new leagues, new tournaments, new camps, and all of these.
All this new gear,
all these,
skates, different price points of skates.
But part of it,
sticks,
part of what
idea.
happens is that as it gets diluted and you have more people that are being invited to like do these camps or be in these leagues or be in the all-star game. Yeah. It's like they're dangling all these little carrots in front of like parents by way of like I said, like all-star games, teams, equipment, all of it.
Yeah. And a lot of parents take the bait for it.
And they take the bait. But then we talked about was it last pod where we were talking about like, keeping up with the Joneses?
Yeah.
And then it's like you're looking around.
Ago. We did 4th of July. It was 2 ago.
Oh, yeah.
You're
so,
right.
But like the idea of keeping up with the Joneses, like now you're looking around and like, you see the higher end stuff or it's just everything is just more and more expensive.
Yes.
And like there's part of me that's just like, bro, like talking to like Otto, it's like, listen, from now on, like everything you're getting is just fucking hand-me-downs, dude. Like
I get it.
And listen,
it's an issue.
And it's not to say that like we can't buy him the new stuff.
No, but it's like how stupid am I for doing
principle.
This?
Yes, you feel like at some point you feel like a fucking
you feel like a jackass.
Idiot.
You feel like I'm getting hosed here by every
and
which
it's like
way.
the same thing
and you are. You're getting fucked.
It's the same
10 ways.
It's like the same thing that you were talking about. Like when you were on vacation.
Yeah.
Like
you get
just
fucked
slap
and you're like,
37% on top of everything.
I'm going home.
Right. Like,
it
fuck
pisses
you.
Off. I'm telling you. And you're getting fucked every which way. Every way.
And then they talk about like, we were also talking about the growth of hockey and like all that stuff. But it's going to be, it's like, a game for like the haves versus the have-nots.
Well, listen, you and I were chatting again off air. You and I were talking about kind of youth hockey across the globe.
Yeah.
Right. As we're kind of getting into these other crazy countries that are listening to us, like, Finland and Norway and Taiwan and Japan, places where you didn't think hockey was like exploding. But, talking about here in the United States, registration for youth hockey is the highest it's ever been and is on a major upswing in the United States.
Yeah. And
Whereas Canada is on a decline as far as youth hockey registration.
Right.
And I was kind of Googling around to why that is.
Yeah.
And they were saying is the price of the game is just getting so out of control. That it's making families, this is what it's claiming, that it's making families go more toward cheaper sports like basketball and soccer, where all you need is a pair of fucking shin guards and a ball.
Dude,
in basketball, you need a pair of Air Jordans and a ball.
Right. But then
right?
But now there's, because of like you have all these like academies and you have like all these different avenues where parents can enroll their kids in hopes that they are going to maybe one day be able to get some of that NIL money or get a scholarship or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like it feels like I don't know what a good analogy is, but like it's almost like fucking trying to like win the lottery. You know what I mean? It's like you keep on pumping money into the lottery system, hoping with $1 and a dream. But now it's more than just $1, and it's like a year-round investment that just can't stop, won't stop.
Well, I was telling you about the Chris Cuomo and Gary Vaynerchuk thing I came across, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. I thought that was very interesting, and what it was for for you that are listening that kind of don't know what I'm talking about. I think it's on Instagram. It was an Instagram clip, and it was an interview with Chris Cuomo and Gary V, and Chris Cuomo was saying, he's like, listen, I have all these friends and their kids do all these club sports. They're spending all this money and all this time. He's like, and none of them go and play in college. He's like, and none of them go pro, and they're wasting all this money and they're wasting all this time. And then Gary V, which I was telling you, he's like, and you know what? And this was like, this was so interesting that he said this. He's like, and you know what? He's like, most of those parents are using their kid to pump up their own self-esteem.
Yeah, or live vicariously for them, through them. Yeah.
I was like, dude.
Well, so like when I first started this
He's
journey,
not wrong about that. I know you and I know many parents that are doing that.
And to an extent, I was like, so when Otto was first starting into hockey, and like seriously, and I saw that there was like, like the cutting edge, and there was like, these apps, and there was like all these like, training facilities. I was like, oh my God, this is like my fucking wet dream.
Yeah.
I was like, if I had this when I was a kid.
Accessible, yeah.
But the thing is that all these things are available, and the kids don't necessarily want them as much as the parents do. Like I was speaking. Correct. So then it's like, well, my son's interested in hockey, and I didn't have these things, and now he has access to these things. So I better load him up because, like, dude, how fun is this?
As a parent, you're like, here we go. Like my parents didn't do this for me. This was not at my fingertips. Like here we go. And you see other people doing it. You're like, shit.
Because if I had this, I would have been. How much better would I have been?
Listen, and that's true.
No, it's true.
It is definitely true, right?
To an extent.
And I know you and I have chatted about this before. I think like the gentle push, right? You mentioned something else the other day. Yours wasn't a nudge. It was a nudge, right?
Which I got from Power Tech. That's right. To Coach Andy.
That's what it was, right? So the nudge or the gentle push, which you and I have kind of called it, I think is not a bad thing, right? And what I've noticed with my kid was like my kid wanted to come home from vacation because he was angry that he couldn't shoot hockey pucks.
Okay.
He wouldn't have said that a couple years ago.
Okay.
So what's interesting is the gentle push or the nudge, like they say on Power Tech.
Yeah.
If they want it, when they get old enough to that point, they just kind of go on their own.
Right. They take ownership, and they do. And and we talked about this, if you're pushing your kid that hard when they get to like the 13, 14, 15, 16.
Probably a problem.
There's you
probably,
want it more than they do, then you need to reevaluate.
No question. Yeah. If they're still into it and they're asking for it, hey, listen, and you can pay for it, and you don't mind doing it with the time, then you know what, have at it.
Right.
The way I look at this stuff and kind of what Gary Vee and Chris Cuomo were talking about that you and I kind of mentioned when I first mentioned it to you, I don't think it's all about getting your kid to college or getting to the NHL. Very few of these kids are going to the NHL. Let's be frank about that.
Very few.
Right? Like Don was talking about this kid, LJ Mooney, who he saw, who's like ridiculous. He saw it on Instagram, and Dom's like, Dad, he's like, the kid's ridiculous. And he was like a 7th round draft pick by the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Like, and he's filthy.
Yeah.
7th round.
Right.
So you have to be exceptional to even get drafted, let alone make it to the
next. Right. No doubt.
But what I do think is interesting about kind of what we that play club sports and kind of gently push our kids is I think that at least you and I are kind of on the same page with this. Is this will make our kids better in life, in business, in relationships, in marriage, because it teaches work ethic. It teaches discipline. Yeah. So it's not all about having your kid go pro or having him play D1. It's about,
the life lessons,
the life skills that these kids are getting from doing what they're doing.
100%.
That's the important part about this. Right. And hopefully it makes them a better person, a better businessman, a better husband, a better father. Hopefully that's what the kids take out of this long term.
Right. And
that's what you need to look at.
That's what you probably need to prioritize as opposed to like the
100%.
Right. So I mean,
because you're right, it's huge business and it's not going to stop.
It's huge business, and it's huge, like there's so many places where just like money is being extracted from our wallets, and in things that are, and I just think about like the fucking subscriptions you have. I mean, I don't know if you have a lot, but I do. I've gone through and I've cut them. I've deleted social media off of my phone. I've deleted YouTube off my phone. Well, I didn't tell you that, even though I've sent a lot of Instagram things on the heels of like while you were away and I was just away this week. It's all off my phone.
It's a waste. You sit there and you scroll, and it's a fucking waste. It just crushes time.
And you'll never get it back. And in a lot of ways, some of these things that we spend money on are dollars that we'll never get back, obviously. But it's like when I hope. So here's what and that just popped into my head. But the bottom line is like, just being wise with how you spend your money and don't just right. Cause part of that is time. But I was listening to Chicklets and they had Schaefer on there who went number one draft pick. And he had talked. So he's got an older brother who I think is like 9 years his senior. So there's a pretty large gap.
Oh, big gap there.
His older brother played OHL also.
Okay.
But what he was saying is that his dad, lessons learned from older brother were like, you need to be a kid too. And so because they were asking, like, your skating is one of your like, is one of your better attributes, your better qualities.
Oh, I saw he liked his rollerblades. That clip you're talking about?
Yeah, well, so
he
that
liked
was
his
part of it.
rollerblades.
Roller was a big deal for him.
Yeah.
But part of the reason why roller was a big part, he said something along the lines of like, when all of my friends were out there like power skating constantly,
right?
He's like, I didn't do it as much because my dad said like, you need to be a kid. There's more to life than this.
But what's interesting about what he said, I know exactly. And then they're like, well, how many times are you doing? He's like, like two or three times a week, which is still a lot.
Which is
right. I mean, like it's not like
that wasn't lost on me.
Yeah. Okay, so
when
you
he
saw
said
that. Yeah. I was like, I was expecting he'd be like, oh, maybe once every 2 weeks. Yeah, it was.
No, like it was not that. My friends were doing it 5 days a week.
Yeah, and I was only doing it 2 to 3.
So,
which is still.
So you got to take that with a grain of salt.
100%.
But I think the essence of what the dad was. So this is a number 1 draft pick whose dad clearly let off the gas when others were like hammering it.
Well, he also learned from his older child.
And he learned from his older child.
Yes.
And so I think.
So he knew the game.
So he knew that there are certain pitfalls, and I don't know how things turned out with his older brother. Maybe his older brother got burnt out or whatever the deal was, or
maybe it was too hard on him, so he went easier on the younger one.
Yeah, and like every kid's different, so that's why this is never like a one size fits all model.
It's
and
true.
But I think it's the most important thing that I hope we do was we discuss this is, if nothing else, give people like a moment of like pause, and like maybe reflection, and maybe think a little bit more critically about what you're doing, when you're doing. Do I need
what
to do
you're doing
it?
It for? Is it your benefit?
Is
it
their
benefit?
Yeah, and look, there are gonna, like, nothing in life is like, like a straight line. So you are gonna have those moments where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna try on pushing my kid. I'll try that on for size, and see how it goes. And then if it works, you might do it a little more. Maybe you're not going to step on the gas, and you're not going to see your kid, so there's going to be moments where you do need to push and pull. And and I think on aggregate, you just need to hopefully come out on the end of all this relatively balanced.
Yes.
But again, there's going to be kids, like, that anything else in it, right? Like, I feel like I'm being somewhat redundant, but there are kids that are going to thrive with just being pushed.
Sure.
But I think we both believe that that's more the exception than the rule.
Yes.
And there's probably more fails when it comes to heavily pushing your kid than there are the success stories. But the problem
has to be. There has to be.
You hear the fucking success stories.
Yeah.
Like those are the highlights.
It's like the gambler. They don't never tell you when they lose money. They only tell you when they
win money. Right. So it's not like you're turning on like YouTube and being like, let me see all the failed,
Exactly.
And we've talked about this too. So I mean,
I agree with you.
It's something that as this coming season, and it's funny when we got this email about the extra tournament. The showcase.
Oh, the
so we're already signed.
You guys already have tournaments on the books?
We already have one, and they're talking about a second one, and so they gave like the Venmo.
Oh, to pay for it, like $150 a family ish, right? $175,
$200 for.
Oh, okay. It used to not be $200.
Oh,
it used to be like $150, $175. It was more like $150. Because 150 times 18, 19 kids,
Boston,
2-ish grand. I mean, again, everything's fucking getting more expensive.
So to that end, but then like the way the email was written was like. It almost made it sound like it was optional.
No, it's not. No, I take that back.
No,
it probably is optional.
So,
however, it's optional with an asterisk.
But there's part of me, I swear to God, part of me just wants to be like, yeah, I can't make it.
It is optional, but I'm sure they're optional. However, if your coach is trying to put a serious team together and you don't show up, and let's just say you're a defenseman and there's 6D, now you have to run 5, or there's 5D, now you have to run 4. You're not helping your team.
But this is the right? But that's the problem. It's this downward pressure.
Yes.
That's like being put on families.
There's
that
no question.
And we talked about it also. It's like
there's
don't fucking charge me for all these extras once I'm already like paying
just
big.
Roll them into the goddamn
give me
tuition.
The fucking bottom line up front,
and we'll pay it. And
we're
give
done.
You want the 3 showcases built in? Fine. Charge us for 2 more fucking tournaments.
Add
but
it
don't
into the bill.
Just put it in the bill.
I don't want an extra
No.
bill from my manager for extra.
It's a huge pain in the ass. I know. Like you said, you feel
and you
you're getting
resent
nickel
it.
Of course you do, because you're like, what the fuck? But unfortunately, the other option is your kid just plays like a house league, which is not very competitive, right?
Well, no,
and
listen,
it's not going to cost you a lot of money.
Or don't go to the fucking extra tournament.
So agreed. However, you have to be ready for a repercussion.
Okay.
Because we had a kid last year who did not go to a tournament because he was playing another sport.
Yep.
And that child is no longer on our team.
And if that kid is good enough, because the cream will always rise to the top.
Agreed.
Then they will find another home, and when it's time to get serious and spend those extra dollars, then they will do it. But if you're telling me that a fucking U10 or even a U12 player
I'm just saying,
is going to
I just want to make sure that everybody has all the information out there. If there's a repercussion from that, don't be surprised.
In the form of
especially if somebody's trying to put together.
Getting benched.
Listen, well, think about it. You're the head coach, and all of a sudden you have to run 5D instead of 6. That's hard, especially for a tournament weekend when you're playing 4 or 5 games. It's hard.
I don't disagree.
It's downward pressure on the team at the moment.
I don't disagree.
Especially if you start hitting, then you have injuries, and it
changes.
I see the. Listen, in the grand scheme of things, you should be like, you know what, we're not going. We don't want to pay for it. And you should have the right to do that.
Because that $200 turns into
yeah, man.
Okay, so you get
it's $1,000.
It's another
every hockey weekend is
$1,000. Then
Dude,
there's another
every weekend is
$1,000 in
$1,000
hotel, and then it's
you're
all the
$1,000
food
every
and
hockey
the entertainment.
Weekend. Like I said, you're
and the
$1,000.
swag.
You're $1,000. You are.
And if you're at a really good tournament, you might even have to pay to get in to watch your kid play. The Cup Buffalo.
I was just gonna say that fucking Buffalo, dude.
Fucking Buffalo.
Yeah, that goddamn wristband you have to buy.
Yeah, $35.
And you have to buy for all your family members.
Fucking crazy.
I forgot.
For an outdoor
when you
rink.
said that, I'm like, fucking Buffalo.
Fucking Buffalo.
God damn it, dude. I must say, the outdoor game is pretty cool. But god damn, that fucking Buffalo, man.
I can't record my kid. I have to have 4 subscriptions to
pay
watch him.
$110 for my whole family to get into this goddamn thing.
No, but seriously, and part of the thing that's I think sad is that you are going to have families that just the bar is too high financially for them to, and you might have a kid that's
which I think
passionate.
is what's happening in Canada.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure it's happening here too. I'm not disagreeing that the enrollment's on the rise.
I'm sure it is. However, clearly there's more that are doing it than more that are not. If youth hockey in the United States is setting records every year for registration for the last 3-4 years, I mean, there's clearly more people that are doing it than are falling out of the sport.
Yeah. Well,
it has to be. I mean, if you're on the rise, you have more people doing than not doing, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Which is one of the reasons
it's
why.
A net positive.
Yeah, correct. Which is one of the reasons why I think you have all this private equity money coming into the youth hockey game.
They need to make their fucking money.
Well, and they also see dollar signs. They know that parents are going to pay for this shit. Listen, we're clearly all doing it. So there's a reason why they're getting into this game. If there wasn't money to be made, they wouldn't invest the dollars.
Yeah,
just wouldn't. And it's not going to go down. It's just going to go up. So
it's a problem.
It's interesting that we're on the rise in the United States, and countries like Finland and Sweden are. I think Finland's on the rise. Sweden's kind of treading water. Russia's on the rise a little bit, but Canada's on the decline. Which
in terms of overall enrollment.
I would love Kirk from Ontario to actually send us a message and let us know if that's true.
We write him back.
Yes, we do. But I'm curious.
What's up, Kirk?
Yeah, seriously, what's up, Kirk? I'm curious if that's true. That's why they're on the decline for their youth hockey registration numbers. I'm curious because are the economics in the United States and Canada that vastly different? Where I don't know the answer. Listen, I know that the U.S. game is obviously exploding. Right, you have a lot of. We were talking before. There were more U.S. players drafted this year than any other country, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time it's Canada. The U.S. is number 2, but now we had most people drafted, and you have obviously 4 nations. We almost beat Canada in that. The Olympics are going to be huge because you're going to have a big U.S.-Canada rivalry.
World Juniors.
World Juniors, right? Yeah. We're the U.S.
You have Canadian stars coming. Young stars coming for NIL money to the United States.
Right. So clearly the United States is on the ascend and the NHL is on the ascend.
How many kids want to go to Penn State now just to see Gavin McKenna?
Dude, that was a huge pull by Penn State. That was a huge pull.
I mean, no matter where he went, it was going to fill the house.
But was surprising.
It's another. Yeah, Penn State specifically, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like,
it's obviously Big Ten hockey, which is great, but. Dude,
it's going to bring in younger kids. There's going to be excitement. There's going to be buzz. Question. People are going to want to see it. They're going to want to try it. They're going to watch this kid's highlights, and you're going to be like, oh, fuck.
Pagula,
that is filthy.
The Pagulas, the Penn State's rink, they are going to have an increase in season tickets.
That's like $100 million rink.
Yeah. It's a sick facility. We've played on their ice and on their practice ice. It's pretty awesome.
Well, you need to bring in people like him to fill the seats, to sell the concessions, to sell the jerseys. And
I'm pretty sure that
money.
And I'm pretty sure that listen, and it was donated by the guy who owns the Buffalo Sabres, right? I mean,
maybe he should spend that money on his own.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he owns the Buffalo Sabres, and he owns what else does he own? He owns the Sabres. What the hell is he own? Why am I drawing a blank? What else is in Buffalo? He owns the Sabres and what? I'm drawing a blank. Do me for Google that for me.
The Bills?
Thank you. Just Google that for me. But I'm pretty sure he owns the Bills and the Sabres. Yeah. So listen. So I'm pretty sure one of his kids went there. So he donated a lot of money for that ice hockey program. And that ice hockey program went from club hockey to a major D1 program.
Yeah.
Major D1 program. And the get of Gavin McKenna for them is... It's going to be unbelievable.
So here they own.
Is it the Bills?
The Bills.
Is the Bills
the
and the
Sabres? They're Rochester Americans in the AHL.
Right.
Buffalo Bandits, which is a National Lacrosse League.
Okay.
And Pagula Sports and Entertainment.
Okay.
It's a holding company probably for all of these other things.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. I mean, listen. So Pagula had put, and you're going to see other. And I can't wait to start talking college hockey, by the way. But you're going to see. A bunch. We've talked about it before. You're going to see a bunch of rinks popping up on D1 campuses.
It's already happening. Like UNLV, like is.
You're going to start seeing major because there's money in it. But
it's in like again at some point it's like the same thing when people complain about like how much professional athletes make, and I'm not talking about hockey specifically.
The money's there,
but part of it is because we as fans and like what, don't even get me started. This could be like a whole nother thing, but like the fans are the ones that are buying the jerseys.
Of course, who do you think's paying the salaries?
Right, they're buying the tickets. They're buying the tickets. But now where it's even getting even more conflated is with fucking sports betting. And that's like a whole
DraftKings, like that type of stuff.
Fanatics that makes all the jerseys. That's like the jersey sponsor in the NHL. They're also a book. Like they're a betting book. Like, and I know for a fact from someone that I work with who's like
a sports bettor,
big time. Who's like
he likes that stuff.
He thinks actually professional sports are rigged, like big time, which. Neither here nor there, but
would it surprise you?
But he told me specifically. He's got a buddy that's a Ranger fan.
Mm-hmm.
He had I forget what professional, but these big sports books are getting former professional athletes to make personal phone calls to individuals saying who spend a certain amount of money, but they are pulling out.
It's like comping, but it's like a little treat for the person.
It's like a level of comping where it's there's like signed jerseys involved, and they're doing whatever.
Well, they're paying that athlete to be a spokesperson
to
for
be
them,
a spokesperson.
To be part of it.
And again, talking about downward pressure and like ruining. Well, so in some instances, but children, but like you can go on to like DraftKings with a credit card that maybe or maybe not you got from mom or dad, and now you can start gambling and put yourself into debt, and like it is beyond like there's this like interconnectivity, and all of it has to do with big business extracting dollars.
It's true, man.
And at some point, like I don't know, it's.
Yeah.
There's no end to it.
No, there's not.
There's no fucking end.
No, there's no end to it. Like I said, once big business gets a hold of it, they're in it for a reason, and obviously to make money. And generally, that is not
they don't have your
easy
best
on the
interest in
consumer's
mind.
wallet.
Yeah.
No, of course not. They don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we live in a capitalist society, and but schmucks like us pay it, right?
No doubt.
You know?
But it gives me, we have these conversations.
But it pisses you off.
But it also gives me a moment of pause. Also,
Makes you think.
And I'll be honest with you, like even we were talking about sticks not too long ago, and the BT sticks.
Yeah.
Like just having this conversation, like I would much rather like spend money with BT, than give it to
the big
Bauer
ones.
or to CCM.
Yeah, I know. 'Cause it
Like,
pisses
I'd rather
you off.
support that guy. And quite frankly, I don't really know his story.
Me neither. But he makes a good product.
But I'll tell you this much: when I got my
half the price.
my blades, I talked to him personally.
Oh, you did?
I did. Didn't you also talk to him?
I didn't. No, I didn't talk to him.
Oh, I thought you were emailing.
I reached out to the company when we started talking about them on the podcast.
Because I was talking about profiling.
I didn't talk to him. I talked to somebody else.
Because it was the first time I ever got my blades profiled.
Right.
And I I had questions.
Yeah,
and we got on a call.
Yeah, because they have a fancy blade.
Yeah.
Which is more of it's not your traditional blade.
No,
it's
but
more like technology.
But more to the point, it's like I'd rather put my dollars there.
Yeah, listen, you're not getting any argument from me.
Right.
You know?
But I would also say this.
Yeah.
It's also there's a value proposition there because it's an off brand. It's not a big label. But like if his stick was like a premium to like Bauer or whatever, that's like also a different story.
It's so funny that you say that because I started doing that with like clothing brands. Like I used to buy Vineyard Vines a lot when it was before Vineyard Vines was ever a thing.
Yeah.
Like, because we used to go to Martha's Vineyard a lot.
Yep.
So there used to be like one store in Edgartown on Martha's Vineyard.
Okay.
Okay. And so I used to wear the whale and nobody knew what the hell it was.
Okay.
Now it's fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
So now I wear stuff like this, which nobody knows, but it's a smaller brand.
Is that a Dr. Seuss?
No.
No, it's not Cat in the Hat.
No.
No. It's Happy 4th of July.
Oh yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I wear like this. They're called Cricket. Criquet, I think. Cricket is a company out of Texas.
Yeah.
Really cool. Matter of fact, those things hanging from the window are from them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They did like a Caddyshack flair to them. That's like the Caddyshack guys. And the one behind it is Will Ferrell.
Amazing.
So anyway, you and I can go on for hours about this topic, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're getting long in the tooth. So you want?
Why do you say that all the time?
I don't know, dude. Give me something else
Long
to say.
in the tooth. I'll give you.
We're running longer. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Well, I'll figure something else out. So we said we're gonna do jokes. Should we throw a couple of them? Should I do a story today too?
No.
Or we not have time?
No.
We don't have time?
Save it for next time.
Okay. All right. So we'll save the story for next time. All right. So you want to do a couple jokes for Joke Day, International Joke Day?
All right. Okay. Ready? Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting.
Moo.
Cow. Oh my God. That was cute. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually
That's
pretty
for
good.
my daughter. That's for my daughter.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I got one for you. I got one that I found that I thought was actually that was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
You're welcome.
That was actually a lot better than I expected. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Why is the Hockey Hall of Fame situated in Toronto?
Oh, why?
So the Leafs fans can remember what the Stanley Cup looks like. It's so appropriate right now, too. It's so appropriate. I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, especially now that Mitch Marner is in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so appropriate.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a good one.
Yes. Anyway, all right. So, oh my goodness. All right. So a little bit of business to take care of. So, not next episode, but the following episode, we are going to have our first interview, right? Our first Hockey Dad interview.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's the plan. So we're going to figure out how to do that, whether he's going to come in.
No. Yeah, go. Sorry.
No, in the studio, or we're probably going to do it with him being remote, and we'll figure that out. But I spoke to him today.
Yeah.
We were going to do it for episode 19, but he's like, Jamie's like, give me till 20 so I can like he wants to get like his thoughts straight, and he wants to actually prepare.
He'll be good.
Yeah, I know. Chris
Honestly,
is
I don't even
awesome.
know.
Yeah,
Maybe I met him in Buffalo.
You met him in Buffalo. Yes.
Okay.
Where Canisius plays. We were on the ice playing.
Yeah.
I think we were playing the Boston Terriers, and you did meet him. So Chris is an awesome dude. Chris is one of the dads that was involved in starting the Rockets program with me, and so Chris is a very good dude. He'll be a lot of fun on this.
Good.
So Chris is gonna be our first interview, and I told him, I said, come up with a topic that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I said we can come up with topics. I said, but if you have, I go, something you want to talk about, I go, you come up with a topic. Yeah. I go, and we'll go with it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it'll be awesome. So that's not 19, that's 20. That's coming shortly. Scott and I'll figure that out.
Crazy Hockey Dad's 10.
Crazy 10, right?
Crazy 10.
Crazy 10.
Crazy 10. Howie's Hockey.
As our Howie's Hockey.
Yep.
Just for our listeners, it's the 10% discount code for our listeners from Howie's Hockey. So go buy some tape. Go support the show. It really helps us with them. Keep downloading.
Yep.
Keep sharing the show. We really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get in all 50 states, all 10 Canadian provinces, and all of the countries.
Listen, but before we go, I just wanted to tell you, I have like a fact.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Let's
Fun fact
before
we finish the show.
Yeah.
Did you know that the only time that Chuck Norris was ever wrong was the time he thought he made a mistake?
Dude, his jokes are like legendary.
They're not his.
No, but like the jokes about him are some of the funniest things that I've ever heard.
They're funniest things.
They're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. I mean, his jokes are phenomenal. The Chuck Norris jokes. I mean, so they said like he could cook 1 minute rice in 10 seconds.
Did you know that Chuck Norris can tie his shoes with his own feet? When the boogeyman goes to sleep,
oh my God, he checks under his bed for Chuck Norris. I've read that one. They're so good. I mean, they're like painful good. I mean, I see you're reading them.
I can't like help myself. Do you know that Chuck Norris can drown fish?
Chuck Norris once scared a mirror. Oh my God. I mean, dude, I can read these.
Wait, but do you know that Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience?
I'm telling you, I can. Chuck Norris can fold fitted sheets. Oh my God! Chuck Norris once punched a hole in the rainbow.
Did you know that the Earth rotates because Chuck Norris kicked it? Chuck Norris can slam revolving doors. It's fucking insane. It's so fucking insane.
One is better than the next. I mean, literally, I'm looking at these jokes. I mean, like, I mean, you can keep going with these. They're literally, the one is funnier than the next one.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's like, it's can't even. Just reading them. Just read them. I'm laughing.
This is my last one. Chuck Norris doesn't need sunscreen. The sun wears Chuck Block. Fucking Chuck Block. The sun wears Chuck Block. Holy shit.
There you go. Chuck Norris's car doesn't run on gas. It runs on fear. Oh my God, I can't. My stomach hurts from laughing. Oh my God.
Okay.
So happy International Joke Day.
That's it.
Happy late International Joke Day. Oh my God.
We need more Chuck Norris in our lives.
Seriously, you're not kidding. Oh my goodness. That was fun, man. That was a very fun episode, and I'm hoping it was enlightening for people. So be ready for our interview in a couple weeks with my buddy Chris. And we're going to that's the plan. We're going to have like hockey dads on moving forward and getting some of their perspectives
more of them.
Too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think
that'll be fun.
We all have our own experiences with these things, and I think and part of it, I'll say this now, my hope in part with this show is, as we were talking about, like, you know, you go to YouTube and you go to Instagram and you see all these highlights, and I know you can't stop thinking of Chuck Norris.
You can tell. I'm thinking about your Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door joke. I can't even look at this anymore. I gotta close my laptop.
Okay.
I can't even look because it's too funny.
Okay, but just getting back to all this, you know, I do think it would be fantastic if we just continue to have like we don't need the former player. We don't need. Oh wow, that would be great. Don't get me wrong.
Listen, I'm sure it'll happen
but
eventually.
Just like you and I and other regular
normal dads,
to talk about these things because and you want to hear the success stories, of course. Yeah. But I think part of what the reality that doesn't get discussed enough is when like all the well-intended things just don't go right, and I think people are chasing the dream as well they should, but I think that sometimes it's a little too blind, and there's plenty of families and parents that can speak to things that worked well, that didn't work well, and just continuing to learn from other dads, and obviously it's not limited to dads, right? Hockey moms, hockey parents. But I think that there's a lot that we can that we have a platform that can really bring different voices to the table. And
it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. This was an awesome episode. I'm telling you, I closed my laptop because I can't even look you in the eye because I'll start laughing. So it's like when we were kids on the beach in Massachusetts.
That was absolutely crazy.
That's a story for another time.
Do you know that when Chuck Norris was born, he drove his mom home from the hospital?
I've read that. I've actually read that joke before. Oh my god! So we're gonna cut it there. So because I'm gonna lose it. So, like I said, I can't even open my laptop. Oh my god! Here you go.
There's no theory of evolution. Just a list of animals Chuck Norris allowed to live.
Oh my god! I'm telling you, one is better than the next, and you just keep going. See, that's why I closed my laptop because I can't even. I can't. I can't.
Chuck Norris can delete the recycling bin.
I read that one too.
Okay. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. That was fun. All right, dude. That was fun. Dude. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.